Hey guys, and welcome back to the battlefield. I'm a rubber duck of war, and I had a moment during this battle, or I should say during the deployment, where I looked across at my teammate and thought, have I gone too far? Have I overstepped a line here? Because as you can see, it is a 2v2 showdown, Skaven and Warriors of Chaos versus Double Dowie, and my opponent's build lined up in the freezing cold, ready to take on a hailstorm of enemy gunfire. We've got Chaos Warriors, Marauders, Monsters to boot, Chaos War Shrines, Archon the Ever-Chosen, all lined up, ready to take some Dowie punishment. And I felt kind of bad, because in my army, sacrificing their lives was 4 units of Skaven slaves. And that was kind of it. I've got some heroes down here in the trees, and my lord, of course, the Ikit Claw fan I am. I had to bring the bad boy, as well as the Dwarfin Menace. But that was kind of it. And I felt a little bit just ashamed that I was going to allow my opponent to be obliterated by Dowie gunfire. But I do have a good reason for that. And that is the absurd number of Death Runners I've managed to cram into this corner of the map, including Regiments of Renown. We also have Wolf Rats hidden in the corners and the trees, but I felt so bad for these Chaos Warriors because I knew what was about to happen to them, but hopefully the grand strategy of the Skaven will pay off. Dowie, pretty standard stuff for dwarves, lots of dwarf warriors, lots of longbeards, lots of scary guns. We do have Grombrindle leading part of the coalition, as well as a Belagar Ironhammer, and a decent kind of plethora of siege weaponry. So we've got loads of bolt throwers, we have goblobbers, we have skyhammers up in the skies alongside gyro bombers, we've got cannons, a little bit of everything here for the dwarves, and immediately my ally starts paying the price for this as his army gets focused down. Apologies for this map, by the way. I don't know if it's just me, but the glow on the snow is horrifically blinding, but I wasn't the one who set up the lobby, so I apologize for that. But yeah, Manticores getting just riddled with bullets in the sky. Goblobbers are sending goblins screaming into the enemy. Greatest 5 seconds of the goblin's life, but unfortunately they are then turned to paste as the Warriors of Chaos take a bit of punishment. Surprisingly little damage compared to what I thought it was going to be, but now they really get into range of the Quarrelers and Thunderers, and there's big damage all around the park. Manticores are starting to rampage here a little bit. On the left-hand side, my mighty hero Goon Squad is rolling dirty and trying to wrap around the dwarfs as much as possible. And in finally come the Death Runners. So we're going to be splitting up our Death Runners a little bit. 2 units going after the Dwarf Warrior Great Weapons, looking to finish them off as swiftly as possible. And other Death Runners using the blinding nature of the snow to cover their entrance before jumping on some Longbeards, Weeping Blades, hacking at armor and flesh alike, fusing the two together in a horrible concoction of pain. Wolf Rats in the back have been able to jump on top of some of the Thunderers. I actually ignored the Goblobber, though it is relatively scary. Slayers are also scary, so I thought, you know what, let's get value where we can. Flames in Ruin goes down on the Thunderers. That's going to be a nice bit of a debuff to them and Grombrindle, and really allow our Wolf Rats to chew through the enemy. Big Fat Pit of Shades goes down here. Warriors Dragonfire Pass and Dwarf Warriors not big fans of that. Elsewhere, I do have Wolf Rats getting pinned in by enemy Dwarf Warriors, so we're just going to force click our way through us, furiously tapping the buttons over and over again to shut down the enemy artillery. And as you can see, the bow is just a massive flustercluck. This tends to happen with dwarfs. Like, they do a load of damage initially, things go terribly, and can they recover from that initial shock charge? It's going to be tough, but they do have a nice little firing pocket here in the middle. I am trying to make life as difficult as possible for my opponent, though. Ikit Claw, as well as the Dwarfin Menaces, are just rolling dirty through the enemy. You can see the dwarves attempted to raise their shields. They've slowed down the Dwarfin Menace with a flash bomb, so this is going to be just the most limp, sad charge of all time. But then they get in there and start having a bit more of fun as they really jump on top of the enemy there. Assassins are bouncing over. Looks like they're aiming for the Thane. Rival High Talisman did indeed go down there. Ikit Claw just dropping some fat lightning bolts from the sky, as gods are wont to do. And now he's rolling over the Quarrelers, who do have rally popped on them. But I don't think a Dwarvish battle cry is going to keep you fighting when the mad genius is around. And those Quarrelers are going down. Looks like Wolf Rats are really thundering through as well into the enemy back lines, reaving around and causing all kinds of chaos. Swords of Chaos also jump on top of the bolt thrower, escorting my wolf rats to just more plentiful fields, because there's a lot of dwarf warriors around. I'm a little scared of them, to be honest, trying to keep my mobile elements going, whilst my ally does all the hard work and heavy lift, and I just come in here and steal the glory. It looks like the Death Runners will be carving up some more Longbeards over on the flank. Death Runners have really done a fantastic job of just causing utter confusion. You can see there's a few dwarf units who are staggering back to the battlefield after their initial shock. Skaven slaves are dying in their droves just to distract as many enemy units as possible. The dwarfs are rallying, and they are rallying to their king, which is a little bit scary. Belegar Ironhammer, beating his hammer against his shield, has formed a bit of pocket of protection here on the left-hand side. A really nasty and honestly quite betrayal-y. Betrayal-y? That's a new word. The betrayal of my ally, dropping a pit of shades on the enemy, doing lots of damage. A lot of friendly fire as well. I had Death Runners in there. As a Skaven player, I've never been so proud, yet so betrayed at the same time by my ally, and that one hurt, but it did hurt the enemy that little bit more, and that has swung the bounce power in our favour. It looks like Wolf Rats escorting Ikit Claw as they bound around through the Thunderers, looking for those soft, juicy, doughy targets. The Fane's going to be a bit of a problem, but Ikit Claw, he can, run him over a few times and hopefully finish the deal. Double Assassins are going after Belegar here, trying to remind him why he is not the true ruler of 8 Peaks and why it secretly belongs to Ikit Claw and his puppet, who is here. He's kind of allowing, I've completely forgotten his name, my mind has gone blank, the other Skaven Lord, Quick Head Taker, to own Carrick 8 Peaks, at least for now. Belegar Ironhammer is getting shanked in the pancreas right now. He's cheering about that, but I don't think any amount of cheering is going to help him here. Double Assassin is rather scary, and Belegar flees like the cowardly dwarf he is from the might of the Skaven. Yes, yes. It looks like the Swords of Chaos are bouncing around, up to no good, starting trouble in many a neighborhood. Archaon's kind of getting slapped up, though. His cheeks are getting pounded by Grombrindle. Non-image I was expecting to have in my head when I started this cast. But yeah, Grombrindle's doing the dirty over on Archaon. In fact, he slaps him so hard, the Ever-Chosen runs away. Even pops Foe Seeker to try and get out of there a little bit quicker. The dwarves are rallying around Grombrindle, which I would expect nothing less from the mighty Dowie folk. Assassins, though, are moving over. Looks like they got bored of tussling with Belegar, who's really angry, which is typical Belegar behavior. And he's trying to hunt down Ikit Claw. We're going to be a little bit cheeky, though. Drop a Brass Orb to slow down our opponents, and then we're just going to wheel away. Although the miners are causing some problems, trying to pin us in place and allow Belegar to catch up. He but does have, the pace of a dwarf in the nicest way. He's not very fast, so Ikit Claw does roll away and jumps on the rear end of some dwarf warriors instead. Death Runners do a fantastic job wherever they lie, so do the dead Dowie, and we're bounced around. It looks like Armilos is probably about to kick in, if not kicked in. We do still have the Skyhammer, who is up to 104 kills. Jesus, I've not really focused on him, but maybe I should have a bit more. But despite such a powerful unit on the battlefield, it looks like the dwarves shall flee. That was a real kind of a shock and awe tactics coming in by me and my ally. Massive shout out to my ally. He took the punishment like a champ, and that allowed us to get in the back line, cause a bit of havoc, and just look at the dead Dowie on the ground. What a beautiful sight for every Skaven player. And Archaon even comes back. His ego was bruised, and he thought, you know what? I can't let the boys, the Swords of Chaos behind me, see me like this. He wiped the tears from his eyes, and he came back to the battlefield a better man, and decided to cut the head off Grombrindle. Not a bad end there for the war host of the apocalypse, which is such a Warhammer name, and I love it. Very well played to my ally. Looks like his name was Yop Hey here. We played one game together, but I did also do another 2v2 versus my 2 opponents. May cast that on the channel. Honestly, the 2v2s are quite dynamic and a bucket ton of fun. And yeah, apologies once again to my ally for my dirty schemes of just letting him take all the punishment and me getting the glory. But hey, what's a Skaven to do, in this man-led world? But yeah, once again, well played to my opponents, well played to my ally. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. I'll go through the stats as well in just a second, but if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a cheeky thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future content, and feel free to comment down below. I had a ridiculous amount of lovely comments on my last video, and thank you so much. It was very kind. Basically, I hadn't made a video in about 4 months-ish, and I decided to come back, do a little bit, aiming for, like, I don't know, a video once a week, or maybe once every 2 weeks, something along those lines, and we'll see how we go from there. But yeah, Ikit Claw, 191 kills, absolute raid boss, 2.4k gold value. There's not many better sights than watching Ikit Claw just scream manically and roll over a load of enemies. Dwarven Menaces, 800 gold value, nothing crazy, but they were still full health, so you can't blame them. And yeah, the Assassins did okay. Death Runners, I mean, 1,000 value, 870 value, 700, 600. Not the craziest value from most of my troops, but so much backline harass and shutting down the power of the Dowie. My ally did good as well, 1.1k on the Ever-Chosen, only 700 on Swords of Chaos, and it looks like their infantry, yeah, it was kind of spread across the board. One man's core did really good, the other less so, unfortunately. But we just chewed through those important Dowie units. Grombrindle, hats off to you, an absolute shad, 1.7k gold value, really gave RK on the What 4, particularly when surrounded by enemies, but unfortunately it was slain in the end, and it really was the range contingent of the Dowie which let them down, it seems. Just all the guns performed pretty terribly, apart from the Skyhammer. We didn't really have any counters to that, coming in with 1.2k value on one of the units. I'm not sure what the other one got up to, it didn't do that great. And anything else outstanding? Not really. Pretty much the typical story of the Dwarf Infantry getting ground down as their range units were run down in the snow and mud. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.